Then they also have to understand what your goals are. And a PR person might also be helping you understand what your goals are. Because a lot of times a business owner might say, I'm trying to get into the New York Times. And I'm like, who isn't? I'm trying to get into the New York Times. But the goal, if you reel it back, is, do you have a website? What's your website looking like? What's your brand presence looking like? Maybe we need to backtrack a couple of steps and help get the brand together before we're taking you all the way to the top.
Welcome to Wright on the Money, the podcast dedicated to inspiring business owners to overcome their obstacles, grow their business, and lead greatly. I'm your host, Janae K. Wright, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another insightful episode. Along for the journey with me today is my co-host, Deshaun White, as we embark on a journey into the world of public relations to explore why hiring a good public relations professional is essential, regardless of your organization's scale or industry. Whether self-managed or DIY, public relations is effective and will be giving you valuable insight on how to select a trusted PR organization to help you achieve your goals.
Today's guest is my girl, Jasmine Gurley. Jasmine Gurley is an impact-minded builder of brands, bridges, strategies, stories, and confidence. Hailing from the Washington, D.C. area, Jasmine earned her degree in journalism and mass communications with a concentration in public relations from North Carolina A&T University, where she was captain of the swimming team and served as Miss North Carolina A&T, among other activities. Since college, she's established a career in public relations, marketing, and communications, and has taken her clients from Good Morning America to the New York Times and around the world. God called an audible when Morehouse knocked on her door over 2 years ago, and she is now the director of brand, marketing, and communications for Morehouse College, a role in which you'll often hear her say she's living the dream. In addition to our CEO to CEO chat, we are excited for our Q&A with Jasmine to really delve into Sankofa PR's mission and values, as well as their distinctive approach to understanding client goals. During the chat, we'll debunk common misconceptions about PR and shed light on the broader dimensions that go beyond media relations. Let's begin.
I'm going to admit something, right? Prior to being a business owner, prior to getting to this level I'm at right now, I always thought PR was for politicians who get in trouble or stars who are trying to find jobs. So I never really thought about it being a actual tool for business growth and business development, right? So I'm happy to have you here, Jasmine, so we can really talk about how PR works. And also, just from a practical standpoint, and this is going to be my first question for you. Is PR for the company or for the person who runs the company?
Great question. And thank you, Janae and Deshaun, for having me here. I'm excited for our conversation to answer. It's for both. So every business has people behind it. And that's something I think a lot of people are looking for, and customers are nowadays looking to see who is behind the brand, who is behind the company or the organization. So PR is for both. You want to have the storytelling for the purpose of the company, the mission, the values, the goals, objectives that they're looking to accomplish, their impact on the world. But then the person behind it is often going to be somebody who helps catapult that story forward. Usually your co-founders. Not so much. I do not think it has. Well, let me backtrack that a little bit. I think it has changed a lot in recent years. And I think it's something that's always kind of been in the mist, but it's been more important in more recent years, especially with maybe even as 2020 as a catalyst for calling organizations and companies to task around their civic and social engagement. To speak to that, you have more humans coming forward from behind the logos and the color palettes and the websites and saying, you know what, hey, this is me. this is my company and this is my why, and this is what we are here to do in the world. So I do think PR is still for both the brand and for the people behind the brand.
So as a semi introverted person, how do you get someone to be, the face of an organization? What is the catalyst to that? Like what is the benefits of it, or like what's the catalyst? How do you do that work?
Well, you have to know who your people are, get to know your clients, and understand their strengths and weaknesses. So, not every CEO or not every founder is meant to be the spokesperson. And that's how it's key to have great partnerships within an organization in order to have the yin and the yang effect there. You're able to say, maybe this person is way more technical and they're meant to play the behind the scenes and operational elements of an organization, while their partner in business is able to be the face, be the storyteller, be the brand advocate while you're in those startup phases and beyond the startup once you're established. And typically, folks like yourself warm up a little bit over time. Next thing you know, they've got a podcast and they're recording themselves and putting themselves on the internet.
Right? It's daunting. I understand, like, there's definitely a need for organizations to have PR, right? I think there's
Mhm.
it's not just like, how does PR translate to business growth? How do you take from just showing the entire team around you to making that be something that's actually bringing you referrals and bringing you clients?
Yeah, you have to outline your objectives and your goals. What are the needs in the time that you are looking to incorporate your PR services or launch your PR services? So to once you're beyond that launch stage, your goal is always your bottom line at the end of the day. And the bottom line is impacted via awareness, because there's no money if we don't know you're here.
True.
So the first barrier to entry is increasing awareness and telling your story and getting people invested in that story to get that call to action and getting people through that funnel to the other side is the awareness, and then acceptance, and then action. Those are the three A's, if you will, of
Yes.
PR: is awareness, acceptance of what it is that you're doing, and then, oh, you know what? I have that might serve a purpose for me. Let me subscribe to this newsletter. Let me put this in my shopping cart, and then lo and behold, let me actually purchase. We know things can sit in the shopping cart for a long time nowadays.
Yes, they can.
But
Well,
the goal is always to get to the end action that you're desiring, whether that's signing up for a service, subscribing to a newsletter if you are a content creator, or hitting the follow button if you're on social media and that is your main platform for business. Call to action at the end. That's what PR is driving towards, is that goal.
I was had this so this I feel like consultants, which I am, lawyers, and PR people have this reputation where people don't really trust the work that we do for them a lot, right? How do you what should I, if I'm as a business owner and I'm interviewing you for be my PR firm, what are some questions I should ask you? What are things I should look for when I'm trying to evaluate, if one, if PR is good for my firm, and two, if you're the right person that for me to sit with?
You have to dig into somebody's your own industry, because I like to differentiate between field and industry. PR, marketing, law, that's a field. But you can do an exercise that field in any industry. You can be a lawyer in the automobile industry. I could be a PR person in fashion, entertainment, music, higher ed, business, tech. You can do that field and exercise the work of that field in any industry. So you're looking for someone who has a level of awareness and understanding, subject matter expertise in your industry or industries if you're in multiple. And then once they have that understanding of your business and the space that you're looking to you serve in your company or with your brand, then you need to find out if they have an understanding of who your key audiences are. Who am I trying to reach? Because if that person doesn't understand who your audience is, how can they build a plan to connect with them?
No, that's
So after
I've
understanding
never.
industry and audience, then they also have to understand what your goals are. And a PR person might also be helping you understand what your goals are. Because a lot of times a business owner might say, I'm trying to get into the New York Times. And I'm like, who isn't? I'm trying to get into the New York Times. But the goal, if you reel it back, is, do you have a website? What's your website looking like? What's your brand presence looking like? Maybe we need to backtrack a couple of steps and help get the brand together before we're taking you all the way to the top. And so understanding your industry, your audience, and then the goals of the business are two things or three things you want to ask any potential PR person because they're partnering with you in your business development.
I've 20 years in business, and you said something that I've never heard before, and I never even thought about it, right? Having a PR person in your industry. I think everyone, including myself, pretty much is like, okay, let me find PR. They can do everything, no matter what industry it is. They can work with a doctor, they work with a consultant. It doesn't matter. But I think that idea of interviewing them to understand if they understand your industry or if they've worked in your industry before is interesting. I don't think a lot of small business owners realize that it's a specialty field, right? It's not just PR as a whole. It's PR for and insert industry here. So that's an awesome way. I love that you put it that way.
And I
Um,
can just double tap into that a little bit more is that's the reason why you have boutique PR agencies. Because there are boutique PR agencies that specialize in entertainment PR, or they specialize in the beauty industry, or they specialize in fashion or home improvement products, which is where I got my start at, or they specialize in tech. There's several tech PR firms out there, and that's a whole another sub industry within there is what industries within tech, cybersecurity or SaaS, software as a service platforms or mobile apps, anything like that. There's always a way to get that subject matter expertise there. And there is a person for it. I guarantee it.
no, I love that. That's thank you. You just helped me a lot just now. I think that was a
It's what
great
I'm
way of
here
putting
for,
it.
is what I'm here.
One of the things that I would love to start kind of like a conversation about is measuring the impact of PR efforts, because I know this is something that Janae has personally had problems with. I, as an actress, have had problems with. You go in, you hire a PR company, and they tend to not make any promises, right? And so you're paying, monthly for PR services, but you have no way to measure the impact. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, I can. It's good that PR people aren't making promises because PR is not promised. Well, PR service is promised because we deliver the service. The results you're looking for cannot be promised because it's earned media and it's not paid media. And that's a difference that we have to do a great job up front in communicating the difference in between. Earned media is third party validation because you are good and they believe in your story and what you have to offer. And they think it's something compelling and relevant to the times and relevant to the audience that they serve. Paid media is that you signed on the dotted line a contract and there was a transaction involved and they now have to deliver on a service back to you because you paid for it.
But
Two
can
different things.
but
Yes.
can you, even though you can't, I understand what you're saying about the paid versus earned media. But what can I ask my PR person for to show that they're working on something to gain the earned media, right? Because I think
Hmm.
a lot of cases they say, oh, PR takes 6 months, and you're not going to hear from me for 6 months while I do my work in the background.
Well, that should never be the case. They should never go AWOL for half the year. That should not be the case at all. There should be regular updates, at least monthly, minimum monthly updates on this is what's been accomplished in this period of time. And that could be as far ranging as we've crafted newsletters. It depends on what the scope of your contract with the person is, of course. But it could be doing newsletter work, could be writing press releases as normal, or crafting social media posts. and measuring metrics on the success and engagement of those, if they have that power of leveraging your platforms or ownership of the management of your platforms. It could be inbound marketing and helping with getting people to come to your website and running that side of your business. It depends on the scope of your contract with them. But when you're going into that negotiation of your scope and that contract, you're saying, okay, this is what I want. Can you deliver on that? Or how can you get me close to that? I would strongly push back on anybody who says that they can guarantee you anything in PR. Because I know I just mentioned some things that are a mix of marketing and PR. Like inbound marketing, that is marketing. It is not PR. If I'm speaking just to PR, it could be how many relationships are you building on behalf of my brand? Who have you connected my brand to in the past month or 2 months or quarter, whichever way that your reporting style will be? There are ways to sow the seed, nurture the growth, and then you get that plant to bloom. It does take time. It's not a hidden, a hit making type of situation for everybody. It can be, but it's not always that way. You can have some folks who have amazing relationships and they're able to make a placement really quickly because they know this person and they know your story and you know that you're fit for that person. So if they have the relationships, they can make things happen quickly. Not everybody has that. And not every brand warrants that either. Because somebody might have that person in their back pocket and they're like, maybe after they build up a little bit more, then I'll knock on that person's door. Because we also have to be protective of our relationships. As a business owner or a business person, we have to make sure that whenever I'm coming to my journalist partners, I'm saying, if Jasmine's name comes in my inbox, I'm going to open her email. Or if her name pops up on my phone, I'm going to answer that call because she's got something to say. she's got something good for me. So when it comes to measuring, and that was your question of measuring success, it's a matter of what is the scope and then making sure that you know how to hold them accountable to the things that they're saying they're going to deliver on. And this is just a human to human type of interaction. It's a relationship that you're going into. So I enter into a relationship and I say, I want to go on a date once a week. I want to have dinner at a nice restaurant once a month. And I'm expecting that we spend at least 3 nights together. Do you agree? Can you meet me here? And then it's like, yes, I can. No, I cannot. How can we negotiate? So there you have to have your checks and balances. But it's the same thing when it comes to a client contract for PR services between any business.
So I feel like we should back up a little bit and let me ask you this one question. How do you define PR from Sankofa's side or period? How do you find what is PR?
Public relations is storytelling on behalf of any human, brand, or company. And that storytelling can take the form of just verbal conversations, storytelling. It could take digital media spaces like this podcast or online placements or video. It could be in written format, whether it's from a journalist in a newspaper or magazine. It's storytelling on behalf of a brand with the goal of increasing a business's bottom line.
Nice. Have you found, or is there a level where a company or a person is too small for PR?
I wouldn't say too small. I would say underdeveloped.
Okay. What do you mean?
So there are a few necessary, you have to start with something for one.
Yes.
It's like the common stereotype of like PR people being magicians. Like I cannot pull a rabbit out of a hat.
That won't
Is the
happen.
rabbit in there? Like then I can pull it out. But you have to start with something. You have to have, your story has to be a little bit formed together, and then we can help partner with you in developing that. Some PR people have that skill where they can help develop your brand, and that's where brand development comes into play, or business development from a side too. There's the element of that. That's the bare minimum. And then there has to be something viable, minimum viable product. We hear that whenever you're creating a business. You have something, a minimal viable product to talk about, because I'm not the person who believes in soft launches. I say that to my team all the time. I say that to the partners that we work with. I don't believe in soft launches. You only launch once. YOLO. You only launch once, because there's no such thing as, oh, we're launching again. I'm like, didn't I just hear something about this? Like, was that not it? No, go for it, go big or go home. So you only launch once, and you have to have something to start with, whether that is a website that breaks down what it is that your service is offering and you're getting registrants while you're there. There has to be a call to action that you're working towards, to sign up for when you activate or when your product is available. But that is your launch. There's no such thing as launching again. It's a rebrand at that point.
is is PR part of social media management, or is social media management part of PR?
So social media is a tool that PR people can use. PR is a service. Social media is a tool.
I like the way you said that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm
So
a
I know,
teacher at heart.
This is opening up a lot for me in understanding PR moving forward, because I also feel like in some ways, to small business owners, actors, corporations, PR, if they don't already have it as a part of their organization, it's very much an unknown. So I feel like this is really opening up the door for people who don't understand PR to really understand it, and to be able to ask the necessary questions and really go in focused and knowing what it is that they need. My question is, can an individual do PR themselves? Is it effective? If I'm a small organization, I don't have a lot of money, but I want to do the outreach, I want to tell the brand of my story. If I don't have a degree in PR, is that something that I can do effectively?
If you have the basics, you can start off doing a little bit yourself. But the real challenge is, should you? Like, is that the most useful way to spend your time? Like, why would I try to do something that I'm just venturing out into the world to try something I haven't done before, but I'm also running a business on this other side that has to keep it going. I'm trying to build that too. So why not partner with somebody who knows what they're doing in that space and can help you? I understand being in the early phases and you're a solopreneur, you maybe don't have the largest budget to make it happen. And you want to make that effort to try and just put yourself out there, pitch yourself to a couple of different editors or newspapers or reporters, which, sure, you can do that. You know your story. You'll need to understand how to tell it. And
Yeah,
if you know how to tell it, then you can do it. Absolutely. The real question is, should you?
as the show was asking that question, the thing that popped into my head are those 99 dollars do it yourself PR blast, those websites. What do you think about those websites?
It's a scam. So to debunk what that even means, it is truly an SEO builder for your brand, search engine optimization. So when you pay to put something on the newswire and have it on any newswire of sorts or any blast, it is going on one site and it may be sent out to a bunch of subscribers or placed on these different news sites that have an agreement with that business model. And I dare you to try and find it. I double dog dare you to do a Google search and try to find it. It's so buried. It's not supported with anything to help boost it. Those sites are not prioritizing that story. It is truly a search engine optimization tool to help bolster your Google rating. That's really it.
So
I wish I had better news for you.
so now that we're friends, right? I can ask you this question.
Yes.
What is the one thing I should not do when it comes to PR?
Embarrass yourself. Now that we're friends, don't embarrass yourself or me. um, I would not become a annoyance to the media. You want to maintain relationships, and that's the name of the game in PR. It's truly built on solid, resourceful relationships where people are helping each other out. It's never one way; it's always two way, if not more. The more people who can benefit, the better. And that's the beauty of PR. That's what I find joy in it, is that I know that I'm always helping somebody's business grow. I'm telling a story that I believe in, and then it's helping this editor get a really cool story placed in their paper, which bolsters their reputation as a writer as well, or a producer as well. So don't become a fly in the way. Anybody. You don't want to be the white noise in someone's ear or in their inbox.
Is it bad? And I've seen people do this, but I'm not sure if it's effective or not. But the same article they write on their blog, they try to send it out as a for PR purposes. Is that a
Hmm.
good or bad thing?
So I would, in those situations, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I would try to pitch it to the journalists and the news outlets first before publishing it on your site. Something I've done in the past is negotiate content partnerships with media outlets, like for Morehouse for our faculty members. So, like an example would be our faculty blog, where our faculty have free reign to publish whatever it is that they want within reason on this blog. And I've negotiated a media partner basically who will take the content that faculty publish on that blog and they will put it on the news sites that exist under that publishing company. So that's a way where you can guarantee it gets placed somewhere. But for the average person who's not, having that type of partnership established, I strongly suggest sending your blog as an op-ed to your key or target media outlet first for consideration, and then ask with them once they respond, Lord willing, they respond. And you say, after this is published, I'd love to be able to post this on my website as well. Is that okay? I'll hyperlink back to the original post and give credit and all that good stuff. And they're usually just totally fine with that. I actually just did that yesterday for Morehouse for an op-ed with our president.
Jasmine, thank you. This was great. There's a lot of real good jewels that you just dropped,
I'm
especially
happy
for
to
me. I'm,
help.
I'm, I'm going to have a lot of conversations with my current PR person. So,
I hope I
but
did
thank
not get
you.
anyone in trouble. Just send them my way if I could just mentor them.
This show is brought to you by Julo.shop. Experience more than just shopping at Julo.shop. It's a celebration of amazing products from Black-owned brands. Our product partners are like you and me. They had a vision, and now they're a part of the Julo family. We promise to bring you quality, convenience, and the selection that you deserve. Discover, experience, and enjoy something new at Julo.shop today. Visit www.julo.shop.
Now it's time for our CEO quick deep dive. Miss Gurley, are you ready?
Am I? Yes, I'm ready.
So, can you talk to us briefly about the mission and values of Sankofa PR and how'd you come up with the name?
Yes, Sankofa. It's such a beautiful word. So I've discovered, I did not invent this name, to be clear. I discovered the word Sankofa while I was in college, actually. And it is a word that's rooted from the Akan tribe of Ghana. And it means to reach back into your community and learn from your history and the past in order to advance it to a more prosperous, sustainable future. A bulky description for one word. And that's exactly what I'm all about. I am a history buff. I love stories. I love learning about the why behind pretty much anything. But I also am always thinking about how our history can inform our future. And we learn from the past. And so with Sankofa, the idea for Sankofa Public Relations was born while I was working in the interior design, architecture, home decor field in the early days of my PR career. And I was working on this story with high end design, home design publication. And it was a cover story for a show house. And one of my clients at the time had one of their products placed in it. And in this show house, it wasn't my product, my client product that I was looking at, but it was a dining table. And this dining table was $30,000. And I was thinking to myself, my salary is literally on the table. I'm just like, the whole salary is just in a table form in this house. And I'm thinking to myself, these people don't need me. They don't need me. But there are people out there who are trying to do really great things in the world that benefit everybody else or different subsets of the world and advances our culture and our society. And they need me. They need storytellers. They need somebody. They need eyes on their business or on their organization, their nonprofit. And that's where the idea of Sankofa was born from. And even from my logo, I drew it on a notepad piece of paper and I still have it to this day. I just like outlined like a idea of what this logo could look like. And it's a spinoff of what the Sankofa symbol looks like, which is a swan reaching back on itself, picking up a seed. But that was the heart of Sankofa. And thus, Sankofa PR only works with companies or brands that are giving back to their community. It's only with mission-based brands, and that could go into any industry. So speaking to what I kind of opened up with around industries, you can be mission-based in any industry. And I've had clients who are in fashion. I've had clients who are in the beauty industry. I've had clients who are independent, just individuals. And it keeps it interesting. It keeps it fun. It also warmed me up for being in higher ed, where I'm also in every industry. But that's what Sankofa's mission is meant to serve, because I can't do anything that I don't believe in. I tried.
No,
I
that's
really,
awesome. That's a beautiful name and a story behind the company. So I love that. That's awesome.
thank you.
What do you think is the most what do you think what what do you think is one of the most common misconceptions people have about public relations, and how do you debunk it?
Yeah, I think we can start with what you started with about how we're not honest and you can't trust us. And we are just some crooks and conniving people. But no, I fully rebuke that in the name of the Lord. I do. I don't spin. I just don't spin. I tell the truth and I look for the truth in all things. I don't work with anyone who's looking for me to lie for them. I fired clients before. That's like, it keeps my teeth white, honestly. Like, yes, I will let you go. Like, you're not going to compromise my integrity in the process here. And the same thing goes for like crisis comms. I'm not spinning a crisis. If we messed up, we're going to fall on our sword and we're going to find the processes that are needed to be put in place to make the system better and prevent it from happening again. That's it. I will help you come up with the words to say. But there will be no spin on anything. I will always provide perspective. That is one thing I will do, is provide perspective.
Oh, that's awesome. I think that correlates with my next question, something we spoke about earlier. What is Sankofa PR's approach to understanding a client's goals, target audience, and the message in order to develop an effective PR strategy?
Yeah, asking questions, deep questions, finding out the why behind a mission-based organization is the number one thing that I need to understand, and whether I'm going to choose to work with them. Because I know I'm not the right person for everything, and I'm okay with that. And I want to make sure, because I only work with mission-based brands, I want you to do well. And if I'm not the best person for the job, I will even actively look for someone for you to work with. who is better for the role and better for the goals that you're looking to achieve. I always hear someone out and hear, what is it that you think you need? And then I'm going to probably give you a little bit of advice on what you actually need. And then find that road in the middle of, okay, well, this is what I may be able to help you with. And then this is where I would probably have to find a consultant or outsource some help or bring somebody else in to help make this other element of your wish list of ideas come to life. Because I know also I can't do it all.
Yes,
So,
we all
yeah,
have a
it's just
certain amount of time in the world. PR is often defined by media relations. Can you shed some light on that? What are the other parts of PR?
Oh, so media relations is the bread and butter. That's where it all starts, with Ivy Lee, God rest his soul, P.T. Barnum. They started it off with all media relations and just trying to get the circus placed in the newspapers. But now today, with the advancement in technology and just all the different media platforms that we have, PR goes into the social media space. It often is used in tandem with marketing tactics and strategies. It's brand development and brand management. It is definitely crisis communications and crisis management. And to another question that you asked earlier around PR for companies and PR for people, executive communications is also looped into PR. And you have your own separate plan for the humans at the head of the table and how to represent them in all of those spaces, the media and social and the brand, where the brand is showing up.
So looking ahead to the future of PR, how do you envision the role of technology and innovation shaping the industry? And how do you anticipate Sankofa PR to embrace these advancements to deliver greatest possible results?
Yeah, I always look at the advancement in technology as tools. Technology is a tool, to me at least. And I do not see humans being replaced when it comes to storytelling. I see these advancements like ChatGPT being a tool for helping us do our jobs, maybe a little bit faster, not a replacement. Like, it may help me write a press release a little bit faster, but then I definitely have to go behind that press release and edit that bad boy because ChatGPT doesn't know my client like I do. And so it may help get the foundation together really quickly if you give it a good prompt. That's a skill that you have to have as you're learning these new technologies. But you have to go back and do your due diligence as a human because your skills are still more advanced than what any technology is going to be able to bring to the table because you are a human and you know the audience that you're speaking to.
I'm happy that you made that statement. I think people are definitely very much scared of the AI world,
Mm-hmm.
and like you, and I actually had this conversation with my staff a couple of days ago. Yes, we're going to use it because it's going to help us get faster. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
make anybody here because you still are seeing things that the computer or the AI can't see,
Yeah.
but you help us make us go faster and do our job a little better for our clients. So thank
Mm-hmm.
you again, Jasmine. This was a great conversation. We really appreciate you coming on the show. And we definitely will keep talking more after this.
I am here.
We sincerely appreciate you being a part of Right on the Money. Among the multitude of podcasts available, we're truly honored that you've chosen to listen to ours. If you or someone you know would bring valuable insights as a guest on our show, we invite you to access the guest request form linked in our show notes. We're always excited to connect with remarkable individuals. Remember, you have the power to share the gift of high-level business advice with the CEOs in your life. By spreading the word about our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, you help us reach a broader audience and create a more significant impact. Stay inspired, keep growing, and join us again next time for more insightful discussions.